The matchup is set for our second LSA semifinal as things heat up literally here at Southern Methodist University. Hello, everyone. I'm Heckma Harrison, and joining me in the booth or on the field on Game On Sports is Brian Shackelford and Jim Dixon. Fellas, Missouri State just steamrolled UTSA for the opportunity to play in the championship tomorrow. The Green Wave from Tulane come into today's matchup 6-2 against a 10-4 Baylor Bears squad that may be the stiffest competition that they faced this season. Jim, what do you think the chances are that the Green Wave get an opportunity to advance to tomorrow's championship?
Well, I mean, they know what it's like to be there. They faced Missouri State last year. I don't know that they have that club in the bag right now. They got now they are rolling in hot. They got a little hot streak going. They have 2 losses on the season to Texas State and to LSU, and other than that, they are flawless. Baylor also is coming in hot. Baylor looks to throw more warm bodies at it, and it may be the better matchup. We'll just see how these 2 squads match up. I think Baylor might have the slight edge, in my opinion.
And Baylor coming out with how about those sick helmets? The gold helmets, white with green trim. The helmets are just sick, though.
That's a classic look,
isn't it? That is just beautiful. That green trim on that white with the gold helmet for the Baylor Bears, absolutely stunning.
Yep.
Then the Green Wave with the blue jerseys, white shorts with blue trim, and the last, like you just spoke about, for Tulane, their last loss comes to LSU back in February 24th. Was their last loss, and the last victory for them was March the 18th versus Louisiana. Man, quite a drop-off as far as the time that they've played last. I mean, now here it is, April 29th, not having a game almost in a month and a half.
Yeah, I mean, they're rolling off against the win over ULA, and then you got, I think there's a lot of gamesmanship going on with these coaches, the way they're scheduling. Kind of the benefit to UT, how they came on strong, but they started their season a little bit late. And so I think there's some gamesmanship going on and definitely some tournament awareness.
As things get started here at SMU for the second LSA Division II semifinal. As Tulane wins the face-off, and they are set up on offense.
But I mean, if you look at the stat line for Tulane, they just really haven't really put up the numbers that you're seeing with even the 2 previous squads that we saw in Missouri State.
Yeah, never been as impressive as I am and a team as I am with the Bears. The Missouri State, man, they are, ferocious on offense and really just completely dominating at the face-off the way that they played in this first matchup here at SMU. Tulane able to steal that possession back after taking the face-off in the open.
Yeah, and I mean, Baylor, for the most part, they played wide on the perimeter here. They've basically stifled them out, but they are throwing some big bodies at them at these poles, and these kids can move around. They're big and agile.
On the other side for Baylor, as I stated, 10-4 on the season. Their last victory, April 22nd versus DBU, 19-8, and last loss was back on March the 19th to Auburn in a 5-22 loss versus the Tigers.
Yeah, and that was a Puckski on that ground ball pickup. that cat is around the ground balls. If you look at Baylor's stat line, they win an awful lot of ground balls. Again, those teams that capture that 50-50 ball and really put you in the deficit on that, they're winning. They're winning with possession time and possession shots if they can get their offense rolling.
And we know how much that means, especially in that first matchup when we saw the Missouri State just completely own time of possession with attacking every ground ball. And this seems to be a lot more evenly matched as Baylor with their first shot attempt and score. Mitchell Kennard, the sophomore attackman from Allen High School, with the first score.
Yeah, I mean, he got that thing settled. He had his feet ready to roll. He had a lane to pop it, and he rolled it right back into the net. And if Baylor wins ground balls and produces on the offensive end like that, could be a long day for the Green Wave here.
Baylor up by a score, getting things started with 12:06 here in the first. And face-off like it's going to be won by Tulane. Yet the Bears are able to steal the possession and come back and get some more time here on offense to start off this first quarter. So far, this, like I said, back and forth, but the Bears obviously drawing first blood with the first goal of this LSA Division II semifinal. And we're going to get Brian Shackelford's mic working here pretty shortly, as we have some technical difficulties to get started.
But Baylor, once they get their offensive package out there, they're going to work the perimeter and really just kind of set Tulane up to open up and see where they can take advantage. But they have no problem with working the perimeter, ball control offense, and keep the drink stirred.
That's Kashra Lindrup trying to get back topside and a shot attempt, but just 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Bears. And the possession is going to go to Tulane.
Yeah, that was Kennard coming up the lane and kind of really wasn't committed to the shot, kind of flicked it down there late. I think he was hoping for somebody to open up down on the lane and convert that way, and just resulted in a turnover. And Tulane, cleanly rolls it down on the clear.
And we finally have Brian Shackelford back up and running. And Brian's so far in this matchup, what have you been anticipating?
Well, Tulane was the opponent for Missouri State last year in the 2022 Division II championship game, and they've at least gotten this far, and then a goal right there for Tulane to even the scoring. Obviously not going to be the one-sided match that we saw earlier this afternoon, as the Bears and the Green Wave look pretty evenly matched here, so we should have a nice hard-fought match here to see who faces off against Missouri State in tomorrow afternoon's championship game.
And that's Luke Farnan for the Green Wave with the goal.
Yeah, Farnan just on that little step away, rolls in on his 18th goal on the season, and just really wasn't pressured a great deal and just kind of had to back off a little bit to create some space.
We spoke about the Green Wave not playing a game since March the 18th. Finding themselves here in the championship round, the semifinals, trying to advance tomorrow for the rematch for the championship against Missouri State.
Well, and again, I'm not going to, trust me, I'm not the guy to be discussing college academics, but sometimes you roll into these situations where these, you have teams in quarters, or schools in quarters, and that might create some of that scheduling space where they're not able to. Obviously you have it's a club sport. You're not able to house some of these guys during these breaks, and you just kind of take that time off.
And that's a great point, Jim. Of being able, and how about that on the other side, Timothy Keegan able to just hover around the crease, makes his way back top side, and that's an easy pass and score for the Green Wave that go ahead by a score with 9:05 here in the first.
Yeah, I mean, if you up and down the roster for Tulane, I mean, they have a bunch of kids that just by geography at least have some familiarity with the game of lacrosse. I mean, a lot of these kids are back east, in lacrosse hotbeds, and some as we discussed in the previous game. I mean, some might not be playing D3 or D2, but obviously the MCLA offers them an opportunity to keep playing a sport that they enjoy and love, and it gives them an opportunity to play with some guys that they go to school with, and keeps them kind of grounded, and it's a great outcome for all these kids, and especially if they get to advance to a tournament level like this and produce.
The Bears on offense finally after taking the face-off. There's Sean Douglas working back inside with the shot attempt with 54 seconds on the shot clock. And Tulane up by a score. Mitchell Kennard bringing the ball inbounds. There's a hustle to the inline. Possession will stay with the Bears. 44 seconds left on the shot clock.
Yeah, Gauss was quick on that shot. As soon as he got his hands free, boy, he was popping that thing up.
Yeah, no wasted time. It's the Bears working in the middle of the field. Don't know if that was a rear check that brought that ball off of the head of his stick. Meanwhile, Tulane with the clear. And we have a player down on the near side. I think that was knee-on-knee contact. It's number 88. As we get some medical attention down here on the field, what we're going to do is we're going to step away, and we'll be right back as play resumes here on Game On Sports. Back in action here at SMU, and they were able to get Sam Goss up on his feet and onto the sideline as he's being evaluated. Thought that maybe, Sam, it was, again, two athletes going for the ball and maybe collided, banging knees.
And training personnel seem to be looking at the left ankle of Goss, so it was either they bumped knees or he possibly turned an ankle here on the turf, but hopefully he'll be able to return to action here pretty quickly.
Timothy Keegan with the shot attempt for Tulane, and a shot that bounces over the top of the cage. Possession will stay with Tulane. Working in close. Looks like we have a crease violation.
He unfortunately he's coming up that seam, had the right position on the defensive player, and just errantly stepped in the crease and forced that turnover.
Bears back on offense, working in the middle of the field. Number 13, how about that? Randazzo with the bouncer and scores. We're knotted up at 6:54 here in the first.
Yeah, I mean, the old wicked bouncer, he worked him, but that's kind of one that you want to call play-by-play on and just go, Giuseppe Randazzo.
That's it right there. Go! I love it. I have to get that down.
Yeah, that's one you want a hot number that. Yeah, that was great. He got space, got his hands free. The bounce shot is kind of one of these things that's kind of come back into vogue. I think a lot of the turf that they're playing on, a lot of these teams, is similar to what they're on today. You get a lot truer bounce, and kids are a lot more comfortable with that shot.
Yeah, and a very accurate shot there by Giuseppe Randazzo to bounce that off and stick it right inside the upper left corner of the net. I mean, it almost hit the pipe, but he was able to keep that just low enough to sneak under the crossbar for Baylor's second goal of the afternoon.
That's William Jones with the long pole, showing a lot of love and forcing the turnover for Tulane. The Bears looking for the clear. Trying to get the ground ball. It's Tulane. They finally come away with it. That's Mitchell, not number 4, Luke Farnan.
Yeah, Farnan. I mean, the last game, the game that we called against Missouri State, Farnan, I mean, had a, he was a one-man wrecking crew for Tulane as far as what you can get away with on that with that final score. It was not a close game, but Farnan was extremely active and been so this year.
As the Green Wave go with the rotation, setting up their offense, you see the Bears extending their defense out. Will Smith defending on the far side for the Bears, and that's a turnover. And possession for the Baylor Bears going the other way. Coy Hancock.
Yeah, I mean, he took to pick up that ground ball. He took harm's way, because one of the long poles was really giving it the business around that loose ball.
And Giuseppe Randazzo working in alley, coming back, looking for an outlet pass, and that last-minute rear check brings that ball off of the head of his stick, and that's a turnover. And the Green Wave, again, back on offense. Bears trying to hassle it for the ride, not allowing anything easy, but Tulane able to clear and now set up their offense. 3:44 here in the first. Again, LSA D2 semifinal. To see who's going to get the opportunity to play Missouri State tomorrow here at SMU. And so far, guys, a cleanly played match. Not a lot of fouls so far. Penalties at all. As we are 3:13 into the first quarter.
The only referee interaction we've seen was the crease violation just a few moments earlier. And your officiating crew here this afternoon at Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center for the second Division II semifinal. Your referee this afternoon, Mr. James Fancher, the umpire Dustin Perkle, and the field judge Edward Carr. Well-seasoned officiating crew here for this second semifinal at SMU.
Timothy Keegan working from behind the X for Tulane. As he sets up they set the screen for Keegan. He gets back top side. Finding his way back in. Boy, that shot looked pure from this angle.
Nick Ledeski got just enough of that off the cross, or off of his big net, to bounce it off the crossbar or the post on the far side. Otherwise, that was going to be a clean goal for Keegan.
Yeah, Ledeski, he came out, cut that angle, and was able to, as Brian said, come back to it, pull it back in. But both these goalies are very active. Both he and Farnan, very active, and have no qualms about playing out of the crease.
A lot of back and forth here in the first quarter. We are all knotted up in this Division II semifinal here at SMU. They take a break on the field. We'll do the same here in the booth and be right back as action resumes. At SMU, please make sure to like and subscribe to Game On Sports. For all Lone Star Alliance lacrosse, this weekend is going to be huge. All of the top LSA programs here at SMU vying for Division I, II, and III championships this weekend. Heckman Harrison alongside Jim Dixon and Brian Shackelford. So far, Brian, what are you thinking? I mean, it's been a lot of back and forth, but no one exacting their dominance so far.
No, nobody stepped out really to establish true dominance here on the field this afternoon. I think you're seeing more of what we typically see in the first quarter of a game of this magnitude, is kind of a feeling out process akin to two boxers in the first 2 or 3 rounds of a match, just trying to find the soft spots, trying to find the weak spots on the opponent. And, knotted up at 2 with 90 seconds to play here in quarter number 1. I think that's the process here, where Tulane and Baylor both are trying to see what works and what doesn't work to press the advantage that they think they have in the second quarter.
And that is a shot from about 15 yards out by Agent Zero, Oliver Crookenden. And, man, that was a laser.
Crookenden, I mean, he was out in space and just opened up and just popped that thing in the back of the net.
About that, the distance of getting his feet set from that distance and firing that shot, boy, there was nothing that Ledecky could do. And we've seen Ledecky in the first quarter here, man, has some spectacular saves, but he couldn't do anything about that shot.
No, and Ledecky, I mean, he's great about positioning. He stops a lot of shots before they even get off, just because he's able to cover the crease very well, and you know, position himself inside that square, doing a great job. But yeah, back to Brian's point. I mean, really, nobody's really stepping up, and you know, you're waiting on a run where somebody has to answer, and really they're just kind of swapping back and forth goals, and see if Baylor can answer here. You know, but nobody's really forcing anybody's hand at this point.
And I'll tell you what, Brian, I am a sucker for a good boxing analogy.
Well, I was glad to help there. Also, this is one of the rare opportunities we have to call a match where both teams have a number 0. So I've always been a big fan of that. You don't see 00 in lacrosse, but Oliver Crookenden and Hayes Ushaney both wearing 0 today for these two respective teams. Crookenden on the board here for the Golden Wave with 30 seconds to play in our first quarter.
Called him Agent 0.
Yep.
Yes.
And it's appropriate that a young man named Oliver wears number 0. I would do the same thing.
Tulane with the possession. Luke Farnan again on the near side, working from back behind X, and that's a pass. It's going to go out of bounds.
Yeah, he was looking for Crookenden cutting in, goal line extended on the far side, and just overshot him by a hair.
Overshot him by a hair, and that's going to be the end of the first quarter as Tulane has a lead over the Baylor Bears. The score is Tulane 3, Baylor 2. As we end the first, and we'll take a break here and be back for the beginning of the second quarter here on Game On Sports.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. It's everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome. Stay focused and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
Back in action here for the beginning of the second quarter. Heckman Harrison alongside Jim Dixon and Brian Shackelford. And got to give some love also to New York Sub that brought the crew lunch today. Had a veggie sub myself that was quite tasty, and have to thank the owner, Andrew Kelly, who brought us lunch here, guys. That was awesome.
You know what? That's all locally sourced. Now, I'm not a meat guy myself. I'm a veggie sub guy myself. But that was good bread. Bread was solid 10 on the bread.
You had wheat?
Yeah.
Wheat you had?
Yeah. And the guy, he locally sources his meat.
Hey, man, you can't beat that. You cannot beat that. And very tasty, and everyone here is enjoying it as our crew will be here all day to bring you all of the action for the LSA semifinals. here at SMU.
Some of the crew was actually using it as barter to buy favor for locals. They were. Yeah, yeah.
You're too much sometimes, JD. Andrew Lou down at the X4, the Green Wave, and how about that? We got a Baylor Bear coming out with some oomph.
Very aggressive there off the faceoff win by Russell Okupski, and almost bounces that one in past the goalkeeper.
Brian, what do you think about those wheels for Okupski? He came out on a mission from the faceoff.
Yeah, no, I mean, he won that faceoff clean, the 5'11" freshman out of St. Joseph High School in Flemington, New Jersey, and took off. He had one goal in mind after he won that faceoff and got away from the defender clean. He charged the goal, was going straight for the shot, and luckily Connor Farnan able to kick an ankle out there and make the save.
Yeah, Farnan stonewalled him, and I mean, and for that kid to do it, there's not much. He's a thin kid.
Crookenden with the pass out to set up the offense for Tulane, as they are on the far side right now.
But both these squads are opting for the smaller, more athletic goalie. I like a big goalie myself.
Fill up the whole cage.
That's it.
Not a lot of space to shoot around him. Mom goal.
There you go. You got your call in.
I wonder why they don't do that in hockey. Just get a real big guy to just sit in front of that cage, and it wouldn't make life a lot harder, wouldn't it?
Well, I think with the pads, it doesn't really matter.
Doesn't matter. Okay.
No, you could just, with the pads, I mean, it's kind of offset.
Bear setting up their offense.
But in box lacrosse, I mean, it's the same thing. You got these guys with these, huge, it's smaller goal and huge padding, and you just want to get the guy off balance and take your shot, and in outdoor, you obviously can opt for that more athletic kid.
Oh, and there you see some of Connor Farnan's athleticism there on that save.
Ball goes out of bounds. Possession, I do believe, is going to stay.
And it's the goalkeeper that tried to get possession for Tulane.
I'm sorry if I'm a zebra. I'm calling that for the goalie because he's hustling.
Right. Oh, nice move there by Connor Farnan, the younger brother of Luke Farnan, who has one of the 3 Tulane goals in this match, both products of West Hampton Beach High School out on the island in New York.
Giuseppe Rendazzo working back across the field with a shot attempt, but that's a save.
Well, nice deflection on the way to the net there by number 13, Joey Levy.
Yeah, Rendazzo just could not open up that seam to get that shot off. There's a lot of Tulane bodies in that screen.
As we get off, is that a failure to advance?
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's good defense. Oh, how about that from Farney diving for the save?
Yeah, that's the kind of athleticism you're talking about right there, Jim. I mean, this young man, a 6'3", 175-pound freshman, but he used every bit of that 6'3" frame to knock that ball over the top of the crossbar.
No, I mean, did a great job on recovery, hustling back in. I mean, he's a, that's a thin, athletic kid, but good play, good solid awareness of where to be. Sometimes these goalies will get turned around heading back into the box and kind of lose track and head to the wrong pipe. He knew exactly where he's headed.
We have a flag on the field, and this may be a slashing penalty against the Bears, and maybe a man-up opportunity for Tulane. So we will see Tulane will have a man-up opportunity.
Yeah, it looks like it will be a 1 minute man-up advantage for the Bears, as Harrison Lewis takes a seat in the penalty box with 11:14 remaining in the first half. pardon me, make that Kostrel Lindrup number 2 for the Bears.
Tulane setting up their offense again. We've seen how athletic these guys are and how quick, the quick strike ability from the Green Wave. That's a good slide for the Bears. Inside, close with the shot and save.
And as you mentioned, Jim, the athletic goalkeepers definitely earning their pace so far, as Ledeski with some very acrobatic moves to stop that point-blank shot by the Green Wave.
Yeah, and that's that's something you can do to definitely help yourself out if you can turn that field being man down.
See Okupski now setting up the offense with the pass out to Mitchell Kennard.
Baylor back to full strength here. With the
Waiting on the
release.
time, and how about the pass from Randazzo? Wow, to Coy Hancock, and the score by the Bears, knotting us up at 10:04 here in the second.
Yeah, I mean they were pushed to the perimeter, had a lot of open space to roll into, and just took advantage of that. And just unfortunately for Connor Farnan, just unable to catch up with a lot of space between him and the ball.
I love the vision, though, by Randazzo, able to just pretty much see and dissect right then on the spot to get that pass out. Man, that was very impressive offense by the Baylor Bears. Again, 9:56. We're knotted up at 3.
An athletic move there also by Hancock to take that pass from Randazzo, twist his body back toward the goal, and go low on the right-hand side of Farnan for the score.
Baylor having to do it, knowing the challenge from this Green Wave offense, bringing that offense out a little bit further on the perimeter to add a little pressure. But there's always a guy in that crease for Tulane.
Yeah, anytime you can take full advantage of those that little dump on the foot of the crease, a lot of times you'll find that guy's doubled, and if you can get him to a single or have a slide open him up, you can take advantage.
You see Andrew Liu, number 77, sitting right there at the crease. He's on the doorstep. And we have 7 seconds on the shot clock as the Bears have tightened up their defense here on this possession. And that's a shot clock violation versus the Green Wave, and that's all on the Baylor Bears as far as their defense. Man, they have shut down those passing lanes and shot lanes, not allowing many looks there by Tulane.
And in this game we've seen two things happen that did not happen at all in the previous game: a shot clock violation and a failure to advance violation, both coming here in the first half.
Mitchell Kennard here on the near side, and you're right, Brian. That last game it moved so fast and from on one side so efficient.
Yeah, I don't think Missouri State got it below 20 clicks.
Maybe one time, but that was about it. They kept the foot on the gas and pressed hard. I mean, scoring 23 goals in that match.
Yeah.
And advancing to the championship game tomorrow.
And Randazzo is definitely the guy you have to watch if you are Tulane. He is the facilitator of this offense, a guy that he knows where these guys are going to be. And what was that? Coy Hancock shot that from the freeway and scores.
Man, he just got his hands free, got just on the other side of his defender, just got his hands free and just popped that thing. Man, he moved that net out on a mockingbird.
Yeah, that was a shot that had a lot of mustard and spin on the ball as we're back down at the X, and the Bears have went ahead by a score with 7:36 left in the first half.
Yeah, Hancock, the first player in this match to have multiple goals now with 2 in the match. And the last 2 goals for the Baylor Bears as they trailed 3-2 at the end of the first quarter, now with a 1-goal lead and just over 7 minutes to play before halftime.
Another save. That's Charles Jang with the shot attempt on goal, but the even better save by the Bears, and that's an errant pass. First miscue that we've seen from the Bears so far in this first half.
He just got his momentum just a hair ahead of himself, trying to dump it kind of back behind his center of gravity, and he saw that open opportunity. He was about to draw a double, and they had 2 Tulane players caught in the lanes, and that just would have been picture perfect.
Farnan comes out of the cage to get the offensive possession started. Crookenden with the shot attempt that goes behind the goal. .6:16 here left in the first half. Trying to work the clear are the Bears. Numbers for the Bears and an opportunity. And just like that, Mitchell Kennard, 6:02 with the score. The Bears go ahead by 2.
Yeah, and really in that situation, there's nothing between you and the goalkeeper. You just want to get him to commit. And I really kind of just an eye fake is really all he took. He got him looking up, and he went down on his feet. And you have an opportunity like that, you definitely want to rack one up.
He had the green light as soon as he got that ground ball on this side, and he went immediately to the cage to get the score.
And that's what set it up right there, was the fact that looking at the play coming toward him, Kennard saw that both of the Tulane defenders were going to outrun the ball and come past them. So his patience, instead of trying to chase forward with them to wait for the ball to go behind the long stick midi Scott Cohen for Tulane, pick that up and then essentially have a one-on-one against Farnan for up front for the shot, and a nice shot and a nice goal, and the first multiple goal lead of the game for either team as we move under 6 minutes to play before halftime.
Crookenden working from behind X for the Green Wave. Finding themselves, like you said, Brian, down by 2 scores. So far, the Bears stealing the momentum, and another save as he's just sitting on his wallet and getting a save at the same time.
Hey, a lot of people are taller on their wallets.
Ledeski doing a great job.
Yeah, and as you had mentioned, Heckma, this entire second period, all Baylor Bears, as Tulane yet to score in this second frame with just over 5 minutes remaining.
I love that. Very heads up there by number 27.
A smart play there by Connor Gamblin to give Tulane possession.
Yeah, Tulane really wants to use this possession to move the numbers.
And Timothy Keegan working from behind X, both Keegan and Crookenden finally getting the ball back up top as the Green Wave start their rotation. It's been the defense so far for the Bears. Really impressed with what they've done, and also Ledeski.
Well, I think that's been the difference so far in this second quarter, is taking what they learned from the first quarter. The Bears have been making the proper defensive adjustments to keep Tulane off the scoreboard here in the second frame, where Tulane has not been able to stop the shots from distance from the Bears, hence the 2-goal lead for Baylor.
Absolutely, completely agree with that point, Brian. As the Bears able to get the clear 3:47 left with numbers inside. And boy, that looked like Coy Hancock was going to have another opportunity to score.
Yeah, Hancock was just sneaking, kind of dripping along on the offensive zone, had a good angle, just waiting for an opportunity. Picked that ball up, and just all he had to do was just get turned. It just went a little wide on it.
Yeah, and coming down off of that shot, it appeared that Hancock may have caught a toe in the turf. He was favoring his left foot as he went through the gate and off of the pitch for a substitution. So we may want to keep an eye on Hancock as this match progresses.
And 3:11 left here in the first half. And the Bears up by 2 scores. Have whistles on the field, get loose balls off of the field. Timothy Keegan bringing the ball inbounds for Tulane. Bears defense has definitely bowled up here in the second quarter.
Yeah, and Baylor will mix it up on you on the defensive side. They'll throw big bodies at you. They'll right there, very physical, but they'll throw big bodies at you. They'll come in with speed. They don't have a problem with subbing on the defensive side, which a lot of teams kind of sacrifice that on their depth and go to the more attacking side and let the defense kind of stand on its own.
Another shot attempt by Tulane over the top of the cage, but staying aggressive. The Green Wave here with 2:27 left in the half.
Oh, Tulane's trying to figure out this Baylor defense. They haven't been able to counter the adjustments made by the coaching staff in between the first and second quarter, but it has not kept the Green Wave from trying to figure this out and put a score on the board here in the second period.
Sean Douglas defending for the Bears, working inside, and I think that's exactly what you saw there, diving around the crease. And maybe, Brian, as you make that point, maybe they figured something out, did the Green Wave, to get a score.
Well, it was a nice move there, the pass behind the back to a diving Luke Farnan, the one-timer coming in on the right hand or the left-hand side of Ledeski for the goal, to bring it back to a one-score matcher with 2:08 remaining before halftime. But, that was a very aggressive play there, able to pull the defender on the near side post out, and then that flip behind the back as Farnan dives in for the one-timer.
2:08 the score. Baylor Bears 5, Tulane 4.
But you've got to give credit to the Baylor Bears as they kept Tulane off the scoreboard for almost 13 minutes of this second quarter.
Okupski able to come away with the face-off, and timeout called by the Baylor Bears with 1:57 left in the first half. They call timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout here on the broadcast and be right back as play resumes here on Game On Sports. Back in action for the final 157 in the first half of the LSA Division II semifinal between the Baylor Bears and the Tulane Green Wave, vying for an opportunity to play Missouri State tomorrow. Missouri State making easy work of UTSA in our first match here at SMU. Heckman Harrison alongside Jim Dixon and Brian Shackelford. And man, Brian, I asked you earlier about anyone's dominance, and I think you're probably still with your original answer. No one is finally just stepping away, and you could say, hey, they're going to dominate this match.
Well, I mean, you've got to give the advantage to the Baylor Bears here in the second quarter, as they trailed 3-2 coming into the quarter.
Right.
And then they score 3 unanswered goals to make it a 5-3 score. They were able to make the defensive adjustments that it took Tulane 13 minutes to solve, and now Tulane with the ball back and 85 seconds to play in the half, they were able to get a goal off that one-timer by Farnan. And there will be some serious discussions with both coaching teams here, or both coaches with their teams going into halftime, to try to find the advantage in this second half of play and punch that ticket to tomorrow afternoon's championship against Missouri State.
Well, I'll say this much: I think Tulane's cracked the code, because during the timeout, they trotted out Cameron Kushner with the teal socks.
Oh, that's right, Mr. Kushner, always with the excellent socks. I remember that from last year.
Yes, it still plays well, and they answered.
Well, sock game is undefeated. He is now having to back up on defense. Bears have numbers inside. Look at the pump fake and score by the Bears. And that's Mark Brugner. How many pump fakes was that?
Man, if you don't take the first fake, I'll give you the third.
The fourth and the fifth.
Fourth and the fifth. He was wearing Farnan out down there, and just pumping him and trying to get him to loosen up, and finally found that top shelf.
Yeah, and Farnan didn't move his feet on that one. It was just all upper body. I think if he had taken another step toward him at the edge of the crease and cut down the angle, he might have had an opportunity to block that or knock the ball out of his cross. But instead, Brugner able to fake Farnan out for Baylor's 6th goal of the match here with less than 30 seconds to play before halftime.
And Bears take the face-off, 27 seconds. They take another timeout here at SMU, and I'm telling you, man, as soon as Tulane tries to inch back and steal a little bit of the momentum, the Baylor Bears come back with an answer immediately.
Yeah, they're very flexible on they're not caught in a rigid mess, particularly on the defensive side. They're able to kind of have a little bit broader approach, and you can see that in the kind of the substitute package. They'll we'll put, you want bodies, we'll put bodies. You want speed, we'll put speed. The one thing they're missing is they don't have a guy with teal socks.
They do not have a guy with teal socks. That would only belong on the other side with Cameron Kushner.
Right, and an effective thought here by Coach Brad Dickerson and the Baylor Bears squad to take timeout here with 27 seconds remaining in the half. Go ahead, you can't take that timeout to the second half. Use it, and with possession of the ball, it gives Coach Dickerson and his squad the opportunity to set up a play, because the coaching staff for the Bears see the distinct advantage here to try and go up 3 goals before halftime.
27 seconds doesn't have to be anything quick, but they can definitely plan on trying to execute a play to get a score here with 27 seconds.
Well, and if you see what they've done offensively, I mean, a lot of it is just, if they could, they're approaching to get Farnan in a one-on-one, and they're beating the slides, they're beating a lot of they're getting in behind, and Tulane needs to keep them out on the perimeter and force them into taking longer shots.
Brugner working from behind X. You see the rotation coming immediately. One-on-one, and they execute that perfectly. Sean Douglas with the score from about 5 yards out. And, Brian, that was exactly what you were alluding to.
Well, obviously a set play drawn up by Coach Dickerson and his staff, and the slide, coming over to the near side, Douglas, none of the Tulane defenders slid with him. Just a wide open one-on-one opportunity between Douglas and Farnan, and Douglas goes top shelf over the left shoulder of the goalie, and now Baylor has exactly what they wanted, the first 3-goal lead of this match by either team, and a 7-4 advantage with only 9 ticks to play in the second quarter.
9 seconds, as Brian stated. And Baylor right now will go into the half with all of the momentum, as they have just come out defensively and shut things down on the defensive end. But offensively, man, they have put in the work, man. Give me just your JD, man, that was a serious pace there for the last couple of minutes of the second quarter. What did you see, and how did Baylor go ahead by 3 goals?
Yeah, I mean, they kept pressing on offense. They forced Tulane into a situation where they're having to recover. They're having to drop. They're having to slide. They're catching them on late slides, and they're finding open lanes. And basically, even at 15 and 20 feet out, if you don't have a defender between you and the goal, you're still one-on-one with Farnan, and you're having to make him adjust. And he's starting to kind of question himself, because goalies do that. They just heap everything on themselves. And what they need to look at it more of a global look, that, hey, okay, they're beating our defense, and it's not what I'm doing, they're beating my defense. And I have to be able to stop the things I could stop and quit worrying about the one-on-ones.
And Brian, if you're Tulane, you find yourself down by 3 goals here, and you pretty much came out that first quarter and shown everyone why you played in the championship last year. What do they have to do versus a Baylor Bears squad that obviously feels as though they have their number?
Well, it's going to come down to exactly what Jim had said just a moment ago, as Coach Marco Robertson's going to discuss that with his Green Wave squad. They've got to make, first of all, the defensive adjustments in order to have their defensemen slide with the attackers of Baylor, because both of the last 2 goals that we saw here that allowed Baylor to open up a 7-4 lead, those were uncontested shots. It was one-on-one on the goalie. I mean, you had the previous goal by Bruckner from point-blank range, and then that one from Douglas, but it was still one-on-one opportunity. So Coach Robertson's going to need to fix that with his defensemen. And then on the offensive side, he's going to have to create those same opportunities as the Bear defense. In my opinion, this was the difference in that second quarter of play. The Bear defense locks down and keeps Tulane off the scoreboard, save that one diving goal by Luke Farnan, as we have a 7-4 advantage for Baylor here at the halftime break.
It's halftime here at SMU for the second semifinals. And the Lone Star Alliance, they take a break for a half. We'll do the same and be right back as play resumes for the beginning of the third quarter. And this is Game On Sports.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
Sewell is definitely a part of my family. Everyone, just has this great smile that we are happy to see you. We're so glad you're here. They really care about people, and that's not something you find at every dealership. I love to leave a dealership feeling peaceful, and I've never experienced that until Sewell. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Buick GMC.
actually look forward to car shopping with Sewell because I know that the whole process is going to be seamless, comfortable, and we're going to be taken care of. Buying a car is a big life event. I just felt very relaxed through the whole process. They put us at ease. There wasn't any pressure. It really felt like we were sitting at home trying to buy a car, especially with the cookies. I drive a Sewell.
Discover our wide variety of new and certified pre-owned vehicles at Sewell Cadillac.
I have to talk to my phone. The headset's on echo.
Had 2 minutes here before the beginning of action. Heckma Harrison alongside Jim Dixon and Brian Shackelford. And Jim, I tell you what an end to a first half. The Baylor Bears, to me, I think everything got started from the way that they were playing defense, and it started from the shot clock violation. Once you saw that shot clock violation by Tulane, I think that was what got this party started offensively. And it's a funny thing how momentum can get started from a defensive play.
Well, and defense wins championships, but, I mean, we don't see a lot of shot clock violations. I mean, even since the shot clock came in a couple of 2-3 years ago, we don't see a lot of violations. And to see one where, you know, I mean, Tulane was down there passing the ball around, looking for the shot, and just that 80 seconds was gone. And like you said, momentum shifted at that point. But defense is the thing that you just really have to work to overcome. If you have an opponent that's playing excellent defense, you really just got to, it's a struggle to get past it.
Brian, in your estimation, when you look at what they did on defense and also the failure to advance, were those the things for you that you felt like were the catalyst for the Baylor Bears that are up now by 3 goals?
Oh, indeed. I mean, the Baylor Bears were able to make defensive adjustments with what they saw in the first 15 minutes. They come out, they basically shut down Tulane, as evidenced by that shot clock violation to, you move the ball over into opponent's territory, you've still got 65 seconds on the shot clock, and your defense goes to work and is able to keep that other team off the scoreboard for 65 seconds to get a shot clock violation, then you know that you have made the adjustments that you need to make. And throughout the entire second half, with the exception of that one lone diving goal on the one-timer by Luke Farnan, the Baylor Bears able to keep the defensive pressure on Tulane, keep them away from the net. And, they outscore Tulane in that second quarter 5-1, which gives us a 7-4 Baylor Bear advantage to start quarter number 3.
As both teams are at the X, number 77, Andrew Liu, and number 10, Daniel Lemus, as Tulane takes the possession. And also, Brian, I want to give you credit for that 27 seconds. Coach Dickerson in this had a play designed. You said, look, you knew that they had a play that they were going to go to, and their ability to execute it and get the score with just 27 seconds left. To me, I think that was just the cherry on top for the momentum that they stole.
Oh, indeed, and as Jim will tell you, they'll have set plays for situations like that late in games or, right there before halftime. Coach Dickerson had the timeout available. His defense able to secure possession for the Bears. They get it across the timeline. He puts in the play. They go over it, and it only took him 18 of those 27 seconds to put goal number 7 on the board. And the 3-goal advantage here for the Baylor Bears is the largest lead by either team in this match today.
Will Smith defending for the Bears as Tulane tries to get the rotation. How about that for the last-minute rear check to bring that ball off of the head of the stick to force an errant shot, and the Bears take possession.
Credit the long stick midi right there, Andrew Mason, getting just enough of the cross on that shot to knock the ball off course and out of bounds to give Baylor possession once again.
Well, and Ledeski was hustling to the sideline for the shot, and then they just immediately turned it over.
Numbers. There's numbers for Tulane, and that's a score. Timothy Keegan able to work inside for his second score down the alley and in close.
And exactly not what the Baylor Bears wanted there. An unforced error, the turnover at the midfield stripe, and Keegan basically alone one-on-one against Ledeski, and he'll close the gap to 2 goals here in this third quarter.
That's Parker Williams that intercepted that pass and got the break started for the Green Wave. So right now, we talked about that momentum that was that the Bears ended with, and Tulane come out to open the third quarter. How about that? My goodness, I thought he was going for the pass. He looks away. Was that a look-away score? Is that what that was? He lulled me to sleep on that.
That's that eyeball fake.
Oh my God!
That's you look. You look bottom corner and shoot top. You look away, thinking pass. The goalie's ready to slide over and close that inside pipe, and you just wear him out on that outside.
Okupski looking away as though he's making a pass, and he hits him with the bouncer and the score. And so much for stealing some momentum.
Well, Okupski had tried that play earlier when he won a face-off clean, had a full head of steam toward the net, and Connor Farnan just able to make a last-minute save on the shot by Okupski, but this time Okupski with a clear shot gets it right past Farnan and reestablishes the 3-goal lead for the Bears.
Yeah, that's pretty slick and skillful by Okupski, fooling everyone. I swear, I thought he was about to pass that off, and that was a shot attempt and score for the Baylor Bears, going back up by 3. 12:34 here in the third.
And you always like to see that type of aggressiveness from your photo specialist, Jim, where he can just take that ball right down, get an effective shot on goal. And this time Okupski able to cash in for Baylor.
Exactly. I'm never going to fault the face-off kid for going down and being aggressive to the goal, because I think at the worst you have a clean save, and then you still have to press him on the clear. So I think you have numbers. I think you have every advantage to attack the goal, especially on a face-off.
Andrew Mason defending for the Bears, as they have. You see that defense by the Baylor Bears, man. They have points in this game, bowled up and just completely dominated possessions. As we have a flag, we a slash. Waiting on the possession, and they're going to have Tulane's going to have a man-up opportunity.
Yeah, the whistle coming there on the shot clock violation, with Baylor not in possession, but it will put Tulane man up nonetheless.
Yeah, Muscani was actually trying to kind of advance the ball down. Not that it makes any difference, but he's trying to get him more to the midline, and they're gonna put him right on the edge of the timeline and give Tulane possession here.
Brendan McIntyre bringing the ball inbounds for Tulane as play resumes here at SMU for the Division II semifinal for the Lone Star Alliance. Another save there by number 25, Nick Ledeski.
Ledeski trapped now in the corner with 2 defenders.
That's so dangerous.
Very. As number 59, Will Smith, sits in the penalty box for the Bears.
Well, you're already man down. Your keeper's out of the box. You got nobody backed up, and really all it takes is a little clearing pass to get your guys set up at the top, and then you can just rip and roll.
Ethan Moorfield working for the clear for the Bears as they try to advance the clear. Ball comes off of the head of the stick. That's number 27, Connor Gamlin. Boy, he has some wheels. Able to get the clear for Tulane at 10:49 here in the third. Down by 3 scores is the Green Wave. As you see this defense by the Baylor Bears extending out as they've been in the zone look. That's a shot that ricochets off of the pipes.
Yeah, it's funny how you mentioned zone like that, Heckman. It looks very much like a basketball. What I see from this vantage point is kind of a zone-and-one defense. As number 3, Johnny Edwards, the 6'3", 225-pound defender for Baylor, basically positions himself about 6 feet in front of the crease in the center, and then everyone else kind of floats around him. And then Edwards looking for the Tulane player attacking with the ball. And that's kind of what I thought of when I saw it, was a box-and-one defense.
Box-and-one, exactly. Yeah. We have a boxing analogy and now a basketball defensive analogy from Brian Shackelford. You're on it.
But, I mean, Edwards, with his position and his height there, I think that's what's helping cut down on the angles for the Baylor defense and keeping Tulane off the scoreboard.
And we're at full strength on both ends. Trying to work the rotation. How about this, man? This guy he has Giuseppe Rendazzo, excuse me. His vision and ability to get those passes out and scoring position is amazing.
Yeah, he rolled that pass right in on the top of the crease, right on his hands, where he could unload it, but he had to thread the needle to get it there.
Boy, that's a shot attempt by number 4, Mitchell Clenard. And even better save by Farnan.
Yeah, and guys, an injury update as we saw Sam Gauss for Baylor go down early in the first half. I double-checked with the trainer, and that is a ankle sprain, and he is doubtful to return in today's match. And if Baylor can advance, we'll have to check on his status for tomorrow's championship game.
Yeah, the way that he went down and not able to put any pressure on that ankle, it would be, hey, stranger things have happened. But, man, it doesn't look like we'll see him if they do advance for tomorrow's championship either. And that's a big loss for the Baylor Bears.
Well, and you know, in a situation like this, I mean, you know, any injury is you know, very an uphill battle. But you know, both these teams have good you know, athletic training support, but they don't have round-the-clock people to roll you in and get you rehabbed in a 24-hour period that you would get, you know, in a week of
Yeah, nice play right there by Christian Schultz to knock away the cross of the Tulane defender there, number 5, Enzo Zarillo, and get possession. But then as he turns around, he steps out of bounds and gives possession back to Tulane.
Well, that was close. The foot was right on the line, but we do have a referee standing right there that made the call.
No, a good angle there by the field judge, or pardon me, the umpire, Dustin Perkle, to see that play perfectly. And it's a shame to see that aggressive play by Schultz go to waste.
Yeah, reset on the shot clock for Tulane. It's 7:33 here in the third. Still down by 3 scores, trying to work back inside. Is Andrew Liu, and that's again, that rear check that really redirects that shot at the last minute. The Baylor Bears have been doing a really good job of that on these attackmen.
Well, Tulane would have been better served to dish up top and see if they could resettle or take the shot up top, and it just didn't work out.
It's over and back, and that's going to, Baylor Bears are going to take the possession. Sorry about that, JD.
That's all right.
Yeah, I was about to say that it was Matthew Asino who had stepped over the line causing the penalty, but then Tulane able to get the ball back as Connor Gamblin intercepts the pass.
Luke Farnan gets the ball back up top to Charles Jane. 6:34, down by 3 scores. Again, we've seen Tulane with their quick strike ability, but it's been the Bears defense, I think, that really has been surprising for the Green Wave. Well, that's a shot that ricochets off of a few sticks on its way to the cage. Well, right through the 5-hole and score. How about that for the Green Wave to bring themselves to within 2?
Well, Tulane, I mean, this score is definitely something that they needed to build on, but I can't remember the last time they've done that they have scored off of a sustained possession. You know, they're having to struggle uphill against Baylor's defense, and they saw something to take advantage of there, but it's been far and few between. They're making their hay, really kind of going after the goal quickly, and that's the first time they've really done it off their offensive possession.
Daniel Lemus and Andrew Liu at the face-off, and that's a face-off taken by Tulane.
Yeah, Timothy Keegan with that last goal, and he's the first player in this match to put a hat trick on the scoreboard for either team.
Keegan staying aggressive is number 12. Anytime he sees that short stick come out on him, that is the green light for number 12. He wastes no time. And that's what they call easy work for Ledeski.
I'll say this, but that's a hard stop to make. It's like those hip saves; those are hard to make, and that's, I mean, it kind of falls in that spot where if the stick is right exactly where it needs to be, it works. That's a hard stop to make, though.
Making it look easy. Why don't I say that? There you go. And Daniel Lemus with the clear as he runs off Substitutions being made by both teams. 5:08 here in the third. Please make sure to like and subscribe to Game On Sports for all of the LSA championship action this weekend at SMU, today and tomorrow. That's a last-minute rear check that brings that ball off and ricochets off the pipes. And how about that, just to make sure that they get the possession. Number 27, Connor Gamlin, holding his arms up as he's running out of bounds.
Got to tell everybody you're in the area.
A timeout called on the field with 4:46. They take a timeout on the field. We'll do the same here in the booth and be right back as play resumes here on Game On Sports. Back in action here at SMU. 4:46 here in the third. Baylor Bears up by 2 scores. Heckma Harrison alongside Jim Dixon and Brian Shackelford. And guys, we have a contest that looks like it is going to come down to the wire.
Yeah, nobody's really moving one way or the other, and looks like we got an equipment deal going on over there with the penalty.
Well, evidently, they found something that they didn't like with the cross of Luke Farnan, so we'll have to see if we can get an explanation from the referee. Because they examined that cross pretty much during the entire timeout.
Yeah, I mean, they went over and looked specifically for that. I don't know what the deal is.
And I believe the number that we're looking at is number 46.
Yeah, it's
Scott Cohen.
Okay, he was 46.
Yeah.
Then. My apologies.
Well, he's from Summit, New Jersey. That says it all.
And everyone from New Jersey just left the break.
Gosh.
I don't know what the problem is. Like, he had to, like, they checked his shorts.
It was something on the tip of the cross. I mean, they looked at the handle length.
They checked his shorts, his gloves, his
Sticky
elbow
substance,
pads.
perhaps? I don't know.
Making sure he doesn't have any pine tar.
Got spider grip.
Something.
The bane of the Major League Baseball world, spider grip.
Spider grip. As the guy with the socks runs onto the field, now we're cooking with grease.
Now there he is. Cameron Kushner plying his craft.
So we finally get things worked out. Getting ready for play to resume. I love a game with some controversy.
Brian's going to go down and talk to an official and see if he can get some kind of word on what's going on. Well, they're out there talking to everybody.
Yeah, trying to find out exactly what's happening here. I thought it just started with the stick. In a situation like that, if they do find out that there's a violation, what do you do with the player?
Usually the equipment's gone. I mean, usually they'll toss the stick, and that's all it's done with it. I've never seen them personally, check equipment and all that, but I don't know what the deal is. But usually if it's a penalty on a stick, it's just, it's an equipment deal. They'll flag it, and if there's a goal, there might be some controversy over it. But typically, as a defenseman, they just say, hey, he was playing with an illegal stick. He needs a new stick.
As the wind has started to pick up here at SMU, trees moving a bit there on the far side wall. Still cool. Clouds have, those morning clouds have gone away as it's opened up to a clear sky. A few clouds in the area.
So it looks like Cohen's going to serve a penalty.
Okay, Cohen serves a penalty as
play resumes.
Yeah, play resumes. And Mitchell Kennard comes out. Working from behind the X is number 6 for the Baylor Bears, and play a bit of a two-man game. A low to high shot, and that's money by Coy Hancock.
That was a nice little setup. He was open up top. He had a lane. He really didn't have to do much of anything other than wind up and shoot. And he might have, if this was real grass, he might have maimed a worm or two on the way in. That thing was coming in hot.
No worm abuse here.
No.
At Game On Sports for the LSA championship. But you're right, that thing definitely was scraping the ground on its way to the nets.
No worms were harmed.
424
in the filming.
424 here in the third, and the Bears, just like that, go up by 3 scores. So, Brian, what'd you find out?
Well, I spoke with some officials here on the near sideline, and they were just as perplexed as we were as to what the possibilities might be. We're having that looked into right now, and hopefully I'll get a report in the next few minutes.
Either way, I think it kind of took Tulane out of.
They did say, though, that if it was a stick violation, it's a 3-minute penalty.
So, 3-minute man-up opportunity, and maybe that's what it was. Baylor Bears able to take advantage of that man-up opportunity and get the score.
Yeah, it's number 46, Scott Cohen, the 5'10", 150-pound junior defender in the box for Tulane, and he's going to be in there for about another 2 minutes and 15 seconds, and that's a penalty that he will serve regardless of how many goals are scored.
So Tulane will head to the perimeter and try and stay out of traffic.
See them setting up their offense, getting inside, and boy, this Ledecky is, man, he's had several opportunities there, but man, he is standing up to each shot attempt on goal.
Yeah, Ledecky really was set back in the pipes and just stepped out to receive the ball, basically just cut the angle off. It's great play.
Yeah, Daniel Lemus with the ground ball. And pass out to Mitchell Kennard for the Bears, for the clear for the Bears. 2:40 here in the third, up by 3 scores. Again, in a man-up opportunity. How about that for number 26? Hancock putting on the brakes. Randazzo with the pass out on the far side. Working from behind the X is number 4, Mitchell Kennard. top side with the shot attempt that hits the pipes.
It did hit the pipes as the referee, James Fancher, signals for a reset of the 80-second shot clock.
Minute 55 here in the third. And time is becoming important as they try and work this clear. Tulane with an errant pass goes out of bounds. Possession will go back to the Baylor Bears.
Unfortunately, yeah, they had Asiano just streaking down the sideline unchecked. Baylor would have had to come out to shut that off. He had a good angle into the goal and just unable to settle the thing in his stick and make anything happen.
Sean Douglas with the pass to Randazzo. Dazzo in the alley. How about that, man? This guy has just got some major wheels. Tulane lucky on that. Randazzo in close with the shot attempt. And there's number 27, Connor Gamblin, again with the wheels. Seen him on several clear opportunities for Tulane.
Yeah, I mean, I like to push up from the defensive side. You know, a little bit more aggression may pay off for them. I think if they can quick strike, maybe drawing a couple of extra goals, or at least opportunities. But you like your chances with a pole heading down, you know, particularly one-on-one, because you have to adjust that goalie's eyesight, eye line, the speed of the way it's coming in. So there's some advantages to that.
Going to get a possession change, and the Bears advance. Let's see, it looks like there's going to be another timeout called by the Bears with 16 seconds left here in the third quarter. Want to make sure that I ask you to like and subscribe to Game On Sports for all of the LSA championship content that will be coming your way today and tomorrow. Several games. We have 2 more games being played here at SMU and 3 championship games being played here tomorrow. They take a break on the field. We'll do the same here in the booth and be right back as play resumes here on Game On Sports.
And folks, we welcome you back here to the Crum Lacrosse and Sports Center on the campus of SMU. And as we go into the final 14 seconds here of quarter number 3, the explanation on the penalty I received from the officials is that the pocket on the long stick of number 46, Scott Cohen, was too deep as measured with the ball. So hence Mr. Cohen earned himself a 3-minute penalty, and Baylor able to take advantage as the horn sounds, ending period number 3. And folks, we'll go to break here. 3 periods in the books this afternoon in our second Lone Star Alliance semifinal here on the campus of Southern Methodist University. And folks, we thank you for joining us this afternoon on Game On Sports. And don't go anywhere just yet. We have an exciting fourth quarter coming back from break. It's Baylor Bears 9, Tulane Green Wave 6. And we'll be back with the fourth quarter of this Division II semifinal after this short break on Game On Sports.
We've done both, new and pre-owned. It's the same experience. Everything's the same. They make it too easy to even think about going anywhere else.
Discover our wide variety of pre-owned vehicles at Sewell.com today.
You've never been one to fear the unknown. That's because you've seen seasons like this come and go, just like many of your competitors. You know your outcome, stay focused, and take calculated risks, seizing opportunities when others freeze. The truth is, winter business cycles separate the good from the great, and winter is your season. Ours too. That's why for over a century, we've been honored to serve you. Vista Bank, entrepreneurs banking entrepreneurs since 1912.
Back in action for the final quarter of play for the LSA semifinal, Division II semifinal here at Southern Methodist University. Heckma Harrison alongside Jim Dixon and Brian Shackelford. And man, this has been a lot of back and forth and even some controversy, Brian, as you talked about there at the end of the third. Looks like Coach Dickerson requested an inspection of Cohen, and turned out to be right that there was, some was deeper pocket on his stick than regulation rules will allow. And Cohen had to sit out for 3 minutes, and in that 3 minutes, the Baylor Bears did get another score.
They did indeed, and the equipment check was requested by Coach Brad Dickerson of the Baylor Bears. Evidently someone on the Bears coaching staff saw something on the cross of Cohen that they didn't like, and if a stick check is requested, they do a full uniform check on the player, and it was there at the top of his cross where they determined that the pocket on his cross was just a little bit too deep, and that cost him 3 minutes in the sin bin, and more importantly cost Tulane a critical goal in the waning stages of that third quarter. And now Tulane with 3 goals to make up, and time slowly becoming the enemy of the Green Wave here in this semifinal.
As you see, Crookenden able to corral that pass and keep the possession for Tulane. Crookenden from about, say, 15 yards out with the shot.
Yeah, Crookenden thought he's going to bounce it off Farnon's rib cage into the goal. He just drilled him.
Crookenden again working the middle of the field. Loose ball from Okupski, guy known for the faceoff, and boy, quickly they were about to have some numbers, but what a heads-up play from Connor Farnon, able to come all the way out of the circle.
Yeah, usually not the kind of heads-up play you see from a freshman, but the freshman goaltender for the Green Wave able to stop that rush by the Baylor Bears and put his team back on offense as the clock moves under 13 minutes remaining in regulation.
Down by 3 scores, so time is of the essence. Not yet, but you're getting there.
You'll reach a critical point soon, but Tulane needs to. Tulane, I mean, if you think about the way they've been successful here, particularly in the second and third period, just quick strikes and one sustained possession goal, and I think if you get things on the right terms, you can certainly claw back into this thing just being down 3.
Can't claw back with errant passes like that by the Green Wave, as that pass goes out of bounds. Possession back to the Baylor Bears, and not able to capture the clear. And another possession for Tulane, much needed.
Now, if I'm the coaching staff for the Bears at this point, I'm thinking what we need to do here is just get possession and just possess the ball for a little bit. Because all of the fourth period so far, all 3 minutes of the fourth period, has taken place in the defensive zone for the Bears. So if they get another opportunity here to just move the ball across the timeline, they just need to set up a possession and put about 30 to 45 minutes of offense together. And if they score, great. And if not, at least it takes time off the clock here with less than 12 minutes to play.
Okupski defending from behind the X. The Bears able to steal that ground ball.
And we'll see if they slow things down here and just try to keep possession for a little bit.
And that's number 59, Will Smith, not the rapper and actor, the guy that slapped Chris Rock.
Well, he got slapped earlier. That loud sound that we heard in the third period on that shot, that was the ball bouncing off of his helmet as he used his noggin to deflect that particular shot.
And this is what you're talking about, Brian, with still in the possession and keep taking some time off of that clock with a 3-score lead.
Well, just establish possession was my thought. And, you know, let's hold on to the ball for a second and see what we can do with it. And look at that. Yeah. You take a minute, you slow things down, Heckma, and good things happen.
And that just like that, number 6, Mark Brugner with the score. Boy, he got a thing for those pump fakes.
Yeah, Brugner basically backed his guy into the crease and then just took him across the back point of the goal, got him tied up, got loose around the edge, and just went in low in on Farnan. But really great job about positioning his defender and putting him where he wanted him, and then just getting away from him. Really, you know, no late slide from the Tulane defense to help out, and it was really, again, kind of a one-on-one.
10:56 here in the fourth. Baylor ahead by 4 scores. And this is the point where the Green Wave have to definitely put their foot on the gas if they want to bring this win this contest with an opportunity to play tomorrow.
And an unforced error there by Tulane. Sharp play by Andrew Mason.
Yeah, number 14, Andrew Mason, showing a lot of love with his stick, whacking away and able to force that turnover against Timothy Keegan.
And now, Jim, you're in a position here with less time than you had earlier, and now you've got to overcome a 4-goal deficit. You may have to put the foot on the gas a little bit sooner.
Well, you got to speed up. Really, that's the only kind of offensive approach that has had any kind of success.
Got a flag on the far side. I think this is going to go against Tulane, and maybe Baylor have a man-up opportunity. Let's see where the call goes.
Yeah, it looks like it might be number 40, Matthew Asiano, picking up the penalty as he got just a little too aggressive with Kostra Lindrup down on the turf.
So another man-up opportunity for the Baylor Bears.
Something Tulane can ill afford at this point.
10:58 left in the ball game. And Brian, you're right. That's who's going over to the sin bin to think about his deed.
Yeah, he was just about to, Alciano was just about to throw his helmet on the ground in disgust, and then about halfway down realized how much that helmet cost and thought better of it. And instead he is very, very disappointed with himself, as now he's put his teammates in the unenviable position of a penalty kill with less than 10 minutes to play.
And Brugner working from behind the X, getting back top side. Baylor recognizing that they are in a man-up, have a man-up opportunity.
Now this is the kind of ride you want to see here late in the late stages of this game, with Scott Cohen aggressively on Kostra Lindrup trying to knock that ball loose.
And taking their time, and that's a shot. Boy, how about that from Coy Hancock?
Hancock definitely not afraid to take a shot from anywhere on the field, Jim.
No, and I mean, Baylor hasn't just really had a lot of errors. I mean, they're not coughing the ball up. For Tulane to get any kind of benefit, they are going to have to pressure Baylor and force the ball loose, and do it in loose area where they can take advantage of that 50-50 ball.
Randazzo with the pass out. Gets it out to number 4, Mitchell Kennard. Again, 14 seconds on the shot clock. 8:49 on the game clock.
And Tulane now back at full strength here in the later stages.
Holy moly! Giuseppe Randazzo. Oh, yo!
That wasn't just mustard, that was spicy mustard on that shot.
Yeah, what a shot.
I mean, completely caught Farnan flat-footed. It just settled in his stick, had his feet right, went right to the goal, and just that little bit of breathing room that may have iced the fish.
That is it. 8:41. The Baylor Bears 11, Tulane 6. And it just, guys, I just feel as though once the Dickerson called for the inspection on Cohen, you could tell a lot of the air just left from Tulane. They have been playing like a flat team this entire second half since then.
Oh, a huge momentum shift there once Cohen was called for the uniform violation on the cross pocket being too deep, and Tulane has yet to recover. Since that happened, this has been 3 unanswered goals for the Bears.
Crookenden working back inside,
There
finds a lane, and there it is. Crookenden with the score. 8:02.
Yeah, Crookenden went down the lane, got Ledecky to commit to the inside pipe, and then just went outside. Not really a strong shot, but all you got to do is find open space in that goal.
Well, that was a footwork goal right there, Jim. I mean, you could see the footwork there by the 5'9", 140-pound senior midi, as he had the long stick for Baylor, Ethan Warfield. He got his feet crossed. Crookenden able to reverse his field and put one past Ledecky to cut it back down to a 4-goal lead. Some nice footwork there by Crookenden for Tulane.
Yeah, and Tulane again. The clock is not their enemy yet, but we're coming
Certainly
to that
not
point.
Their friend.
Yeah, we're coming to that point where they need to start churning and popping the net and taking quality shots. And a lot of times when you're rushing, that's not what you're getting.
Parker Williams with the pass out on the far side. Tulane working from behind the X. Keegan trying to get back top side. Not a shot attempt on goal yet for Tulane. Getting it into the hands of the guy that just scored for the Green Wave, Oliver Crookenden.
And you have to think at this stage, guys, with just over 7 minutes to play, with the Baylor defense on the turf here and in Tulane attacking, that if Baylor can run the shot clock down below halfway, below 40, that really has to be more of a victory for the Bears.
Absolutely.
Than the Green Wave, even if the Green Wave does score.
Another save there by number 25, Nick Ledecky.
And like you were saying, Brian, if you can get the shot clock down below 40, that's a win. But you're also rushing and pressing and taking ill-advised shots because you really just have to get to the back of the net.
Boy, how about that? Just getting down, immediately getting a shot off was Coy Hancock. Not thinking about anything, just blowing caution to the wind and getting a shot attempt up.
No, and as you had said earlier, Heckma, great shot by Hancock, but an even better kick save by Connor Farnan to keep Hancock off the board.
And Luke Farnan down on the offensive end. Right now, look at that slide coming over for Baylor. That is where they've made their hay on defense.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like playing an extra guy.
And that is Agent Zero, Oliver Crookenden. I believe that's 3 for him.
That is the hat trick indeed for Crookenden. He matches the hat trick by his fellow Green Wave teammate, Timothy Keegan. Both of those gentlemen now with 3 goals in the match. And what was a 5-goal advantage is now only a 3-goal advantage as we move under 6 minutes remaining in the fourth.